Daniel had always believed that love was built on respect. For 6 years, he and his wife, Clara, shared everything. Dreams, laughter, and quiet evenings that made their little apartment feel like home. But over time, something began to change. Clara became distant, restless, and often compared him to others. At first, Daniel ignored it, believing it was just stress or fatigue. But one evening, her words cut deeper than anything he'd ever imagined. They were at a small dinner gathering with friends. Clara's best friend, Megan, had joined them. Megan was lively, confident, and loved cracking jokes. When Daniel complimented her new job, Clara laughed and said loudly, "Well, maybe you should take notes from her husband. He actually knows how to treat a woman right. Plus, your best friend clearly has more. Everything." The laughter that followed from the table felt like knives to his heart. Daniel froze. The room spun as everyone tried to pretend they hadn't heard her cruel remark. He forced a smile, excused himself, and spent the rest of the evening in silence. That sentence echoed in his mind all night. Your best friend clearly has more. It wasn't just an insult, it was a humiliation meant to break him. The next morning, he tried to talk to her calmly. "Clara, what you said last night. Why would you say something like that?" She shrugged and replied, "It was just a joke, Daniel. You're too sensitive." But he saw something cold in her eyes, a lack of remorse that told him it wasn't just a careless comment. Something deeper was wrong. Days turned into weeks, and the tension only grew. Clara stopped wearing her wedding ring and spent most nights out with friends. When Daniel asked where she went, she'd scoff, "Don't act like my father." Still, he hoped things would get better. He planned a weekend getaway, thinking maybe time alone could mend what was broken. On that trip, however, the truth became impossible to ignore. While she was showering, her phone buzzed with a message preview that read, "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." Daniel's hands trembled as he read the name. Megan's husband, Jason. His world fell apart in that instant. He confronted Clara when she stepped out of the bathroom, towel around her, face casual as if nothing had happened. "How long has it been going on?" he asked. Her face went pale. She stammered, tried to deny it, but her silence spoke louder than words. When he showed her the message, she broke down, not out of guilt, but because she'd been caught. "Daniel, I didn't mean to hurt you. It just happened. You were too focused on your work." "I felt lonely," she tried to explain. But to Daniel, her excuses sounded hollow. He had sacrificed so much for their life together, working long hours to build a home she no longer appreciated. He didn't shout. He didn't throw things. He simply said, "We're done." That calm, final tone scared her more than any anger could have. She tried to plead, saying it was a mistake, that she loved him, but he had seen the truth. She had lost respect for him long ago. When they returned home, he began the process quietly. He met with a lawyer, signed the divorce papers, and left her the house. His only condition was that she wouldn't contact him again. Clara seemed shocked that he wasn't fighting for her. But there was nothing left to fight for. Respect, once gone, doesn't return. Months passed. Daniel focused on rebuilding his life. He joined a gym, took up photography, and reconnected with his old friends. For the first time in years, he felt peace. Meanwhile, Clara's life fell apart. Jason's wife discovered the affair and filed for divorce too. Clara's reputation shattered, and Megan cut ties with her entirely. One day, Clara reached out through email. She wrote, "I miss us, Daniel. I realize now what I lost. You were the only one who truly cared for me." Daniel read it once, sighed, and deleted it. He wasn't cruel, just done. He knew that love without respect was nothing but an illusion. A year later, he met someone new. Someone kind, grounded, and genuine. She never compared him to anyone, never mocked his efforts. She simply appreciated who he was. And that was all he'd ever needed. Sometimes, Daniel still remembered that night. Her voice, her laughter, the the sting of her words. But now, instead of pain, it reminded him of his strength. Being mocked had once broken him, but in the end, it also freed him. He finally understood. The cruelest words can destroy a marriage, but they can also build a stronger soul. And Daniel walked forward, leaving behind not just Clara, but the version of himself that ever doubted his own worth.